Ixworth. Ixworth is a village and civil parish in the West Suffolk district of the English county of Suffolk. It is 6 miles (9.7 km) northeast of Bury St Edmunds on the A143 road to Dis and 9 miles (14 km) southeast of Thetford. The parish has a population of 2177, increasing to 2365 at the 2011 census. The south end of High Street and town may also be historically listed as Ixworth St Mary. History. Ixworth was settled in Roman times and was the site of a 1st century AD Roman fort. The fort is believed to have been built as a response to Boudicca's revolt and appears to have been in use only until the end of the 1st century. The site measures 193 meters (633 ft) by 205 meters (673 ft) and was surrounded by 3 ditches. After the fort went out of use, a civilian settlement was established at the site, possibly with a pottery industry. Ixworth became an important junction in the Roman road system of East Anglia, and the Peddars Way ran 48 miles (77 km) from Ixworth to Holme next the sea on the north coast of Norfolk. The foundations of a Roman building with hypocaust were discovered in 1834 and are believed to be a villa and bathhouse complex. An early pagan cemetery with Anglo-Saxon burial urns was discovered southwest of the church sometime before 1849, and a number of other post-Roman archaeological finds have been discovered in the area. In 1856, the Ixworth cross, a gold pectoral cross covered in garnets dating from the 7th century, was discovered in what is believed to be another Anglo-Saxon cemetery. The cross is decorated using cloisonne work and was donated to the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford in 1909. It was discovered in a rare bed burial. The first recorded name for Ixworth is from 1025 as Ixworth, meaning enclosure of a man called Disca. It was mentioned again as Ixworth in the S1225 charter of 1040, where Thurketal grants the lands to Bury St Edmunds Abbey. The settlement was recorded in the Domesday Book as Ixworth or Giswortha. The village, which was in the hundred of Blackbourne, was relatively very large at this time, with 51 households. It was held by Robert Blount or Blount in 1086, having formed part of the lands controlled by the Abbey of Bury St Edmunds in 1066. Ixworth Priory was founded as an Augustinian priory in about 1170 and dissolved in 1537. Remains of the priory include the almost complete East Range, whilst some of the West Range can be found incorporated into a house known as Ixworth Abbey. These remains are a Grade I listed building and include elements from the early 13th century. Ixworth is the site of the earliest rural council housing built in England. 4 pairs of houses were built in 1893-94 for Thingo Rural District Council, encouraged by the Ixworth Labourers Association. These were built under the Housing of the Working Classes Act 1890, the first to allow rural councils to build their own housing. The act was only adopted by 8 councils. The houses exist today in a largely unaltered condition. 2 of them, on Stow Road, are Grade Roman II listed buildings. A Q-type bombing decoy was operated in the northeast of the parish to deflect enemy bombing from RAF Honington. A former pumping station at Bailipool Lane off Stow Lane has been given planning permission as of 2012 for conversion to a residential dwelling. Modern Ixworth. St Mary's Church lies just west of High Street. The church dates from the late 14th century with a late 15th century tower. It contains memorials to Richard Coddington, who was granted the land owned by the priory following the dissolution. The church is a Grade I listed building. The village contains a number of other listed buildings, many on the High Street, some of which have medieval elements. A variety of local services remain in the village, including shops, a post office and public houses, as well as a village hall, doctor's surgery, a retained fire station and police station sharing the same building. Ixworth is served by rural bus routes and is on the National Express London to Great Yarmouth coach route. The village was bypassed in 1986, when the A143 was diverted to run to the southeast of the village. Government. Ixworth is in the West Suffolk district and until April 2019 the St Edmunds Bury district and elected one borough councillor. It lies in the Blackburn division of Suffolk County Council and the West Suffolk parliamentary constituency. The parish council jointly administers Ixworth and Ixworth Thorpe. Education. Ixworth Church of England voluntary controlled primary school run by the Tillian Partnership, 2 educates children aged 5 to 11 and its maintained nursery school/class offers places to 3 to 5-year-olds. At the end of Year 6, children can transfer to a CT Ixworth 3 run by Thetford Education Trust, 4, which educates students aged 11 to 16, or Thurston Community College, 5, which educates students aged 11 to 18. Bangrove Wood SSSI. Bangrove Wood, around 1 mile 1.6 km north of the village, is a site of special scientific interest SSSI. This is an area of ancient woodland of 18.2 hectares 45 acres. The wood contains species such as ash, field maple, oak and hazel as well as wild cherry, and a range of ground vegetation species. Notable residents. Thomas Norton, John Griffiths, John Lamb, Joy Marshall, Guy Simmons, Bertie Stevens, Frederick Nunn,